Hi everyone, welcome to a very special edition of Hue Spotlight. It's Kidsfest, and of course, it is the honorary star every year, Fred Penner, who is returning 40th anniversary of The Cat Came Back. But you know what, Fred? The festival is not you, or the festival is not the festival without you.
Oh, okay,
and I think
okay.
I've said that every year that you come, but I think this year is kind of special, just with everything that's happened in the last 3 years.
Really, it's been pretty intense for everybody,
Yeah.
and I know there's lots of hesitation. Are we ready to get back into this world of people everywhere and sharing spaces and being maskless? It's tricky, and I know there's lots of people who aren't quite there yet, and that's totally fine.
That's okay.
But we've gained and maybe lost something along the way. I'm hoping that the gain has been really understanding the value and the importance of human contact. You know, when you suddenly can't be with the people that you love or doing the things that you want to do, it hurts your spirit a little bit, and so it looks like the festival this year is just going crazy. I mean,
It is.
seems like there's more people here than I remember in past years.
Well,
Pre-COVID, certainly.
Yeah, and I think just not being able to perform and travel, it's just all of that. For you personally, Fred, was it a time to reflect on, your career, everything that you've done, what
Yeah.
you were doing? You were touring, Cat Came Back anniversary tour, and that kind of got squashed?
Yeah, I mean, certainly this has been a time for lots of introspection. I mean, you know that I've remarried in the last number of years. I've been with my new partner for over 10, and I've never in my entire life in relationships been with my partner for more than like a couple of months maybe, and now it's years. So it changes you have to work a little harder at really paying attention, and learning who that person is and what they need and what you need in a relationship. So I've gained, I think, a lot of introspection about myself and about Ray Ellen is my wife's name, and that's been one of the big positives for me, and doing some virtual stuff online to keep some connection with the audience. But at this point in my life, I'm looking at it as a semi-retirement. I don't think I will ever retire,
No.
unless I physically am not able to. But this journey continues after. I mean, it's been over 50 years that I've been on the road since the early 70s, so I'm getting a little tired, a little weary,
and I've got him sitting on stairs in the back of a semi-trailer full of stuff for Kidsfest, and you know all about it.
Yeah.
Now, Fred, these audiences, they're new audiences too now.
Sure.
Do you change your show? Do you change, what you talk about, kind of your persona? Or is it the same? Well, we still want the same Fred. Yeah. Please don't change, really change.
What I mean, the way I've dealt with this over the years is the message has to be the same, has to be constant, because we are all in this together. Take good care of each other is clear. Be proud of the people you are, and I mean that song. I'll be doing that today. We are in this insane life path together, and kids need the nurturing of family, of community, of all those really positive values. Love is the foundation, and I hope that that's what comes through in my music. Home is where the heart is the second tune I'll be doing today, and that's the foundation of our life, and so I'll maybe vary some of the songs along the way, add a new verse or change an arrangement a little bit, but the message is always the same. We are in this insane, as I said, insane world together, and the only way we're going to work out is by really taking care of each other again.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's so true. Cat Came Back. Would you think that song would be... he laughs.
Of course.
It's a catchy tune, I know, but still.
Yeah.
What was the message there?
Well,
because again, about home.
No. Well, exactly. The interesting thing with that, because it was written in the 1890s, and
1890s.
Yes, that's when this song originally came from. It was an old was an old folk tune that people attribute much to me, obviously.
Really?
But I've rewritten most of the verses that I do, and the idea of the song was this cat is invincible. And so if a young audience, if a child is listening to this, hearing about this cat that in all adversity still comes back, then that gives perhaps the child, hope that even the stuff they may be going through, they can survive, they can come through. So I've extrapolated that kind of message from it. Does that work?
That does. That's a great story. Oh my goodness, and it's brilliant. And look at it now. It still rings so true.
It's one of the best songs I've ever found in my life. The chord progression is so perfect. It's easy to play. It's easy to jam to. It's yeah.
Okay, so children's music. What is the future for it? I don't even know really. Like if there's a children's genre, I guess there still does exist. But I mean, pop music, the contemporary music has really spilled out, and I mean, kids as young as 3 and 4 are listening to top 40 hits.
And that's great. That's fine. I mean, when I was growing up, the radio played everything. One radio station, CKY, would play rock, would play blues, would play comedy. Ray Stevens played country, play Percy Faith doing orchestral stuff. So you had this spectrum of all sorts of music, and kids would listen to it, and I would listen to it, and I would take it in and think, oh, I like that sound, I like that pattern. It was not too sophisticated for my young ears. Some things would certainly go deeper now when I listen to it. But variety really is the spice of life. I had a parent come up to me once and says, my son has 2 favorites, and the kid was 5 years old, you and Michael Jackson. I thought, okay, well, there we are. So that's, sure. Well, why not? It's touching different parts of the, of the child's interest, and let's do more of that.
Do you think that children's music will always remain, or will you hope it will?
I don't know. It's lost because I was in the heyday, obviously with Raffi and Sharon Wilson Bram. We were the big 3 in Canada, and we toured and did 1,000-seat theaters, 5 shows in. I mean, it was a huge time of life, and then it started to dissipate and spread out, and now I don't see really as much commitment to that deeper part of the spirit that I was talking about, the importance of of home and value and love and caring. That's sort of the underlying message, but I feel it sort of needs to come up to be a little more direct, without being didactic, but really communicating with the kids and letting them know in a sensitive way. It's not all about get out there and loud and come on everybody, we're gonna have a great time and and the kids go, oh, what's happening? It's bring it down. Kids are capable, and this is a point that I've had battles with along the way, is children are not a discriminating audience necessarily, because they will take in what you give them. So if you give them crap, whatever that might be, then they will say, oh, that's what it is. It's only about color, it's only about flash, it's only about dance, dance, dance. And if you give them something that's a little more sensitive and say, I know that you are capable of hearing and singing something that goes deeper inside of you. That's what I try and do. So the concerts are always a flow. It'll start wherever it starts, and then it'll come down a bit. And then it's great to see you, as heartful and as non-condescending as possible.
Well, and I think what makes you special is that you recognize the audience. You're not just there singing out. You're not talking to the audience.
No.
You're really
talking. I'm not talking at
them.
We are trying to communicate something.
And I think that even as a true performer in any genre is so special, and that's what elevates you to superstar or.
Well, it's the longevity. I mean, people have seen and heard and felt what I try and do in my commitment, and they say, oh, okay, I get where this guy is coming from,
right?
And they want their children to be part of it, and that's the value.
And speaking of children, you have your children and you also have grandchildren.
5 of them, yeah.
Are they all Fred heads? They
Sure.
better be.
Oh, you know, I went to my daughter Danica's place, and her daughter Lily, who's 6 years old now. Because she's been on stage with me. She's and I'm thinking that maybe I'll bring her up, you know, when she comes this round. We'll see. But I walked in and she says, "The famous Fred Penner." Okay, thanks, Lily. So she's aware. She's aware that I have, you know, some
Well,
celebrity.
it'll be interesting to see the next lineage of Penners here at Kidsfest. We'll be watching, but you know
me
what?
too.
Thank you so much. It's just so nice to see you back, and you know, you, El Simmons, Neil Rempel,
Yeah.
the Three Amigos.
And there's some really great shows that Neil has brought in this time that are performing at the MTYP. There's a great African troupe that's come in. I'm really excited about what he's doing over there. I'm glad that they are partnering a little bit more and making, you know, that inner and closed space happening.
Oh, well,
it's great.
Winnipeg loves you, the world loves you.
Oh, you're sweet.
And whatever you do, you'll always be Fred in our hearts.
Well, I think so. I'll always be Fred. I have no alternative at this point.
Yes, okay. There's no other persona of Fred.
That's right.
Well, we cannot leave without Fred playing, so don't go away. Fred will be back with a favorite song. What are you going to play?
I don't know.
Oh, it will be a surprise. Stay tuned. More on Hue Spotlight.
You've got to be proud of the people around you, proud of the things that you do, proud of your dreams and feelings inside, and never afraid to let them shine through. No, never afraid to make them come true. Look at a child learning to walk, making the sounds and starting to talk, finding something new each day. There's only one thing to say.
All right, this is called Celebrate Being, one of the most fundamental, important songs, because that's what we are here for, to celebrate each other. Celebrate being a dreamer. Celebrate being real. Celebrate being good friends, telling each other how you feel. Celebrate being happy. Celebrate being proud. Celebrate being effervescent, shouting your name out loud. Do-do, 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 do-do. Everyone is welcome. We are people first, and there's no denying it. We'll keep on trying. It turns out better when we're together. I like your style 'cause you make me smile. Celebrate being gentle. Celebrate being kind. Celebrate being filled with love, letting your love light shine. Yeah, celebrate being filled with love, letting your love light shine, letting your love light shine. See you soon.